I don't want nothing. I don't want nothing that's under 100. I don't want nothing. I don't want nothing that's under 100. I don't want nothing. I don't want nothing that's under 100.
Yeah, you know what it is. You are in PE with Dave and Jay, where we build while we build. I am Dave.
Good. I'm Dave.
That's my guy, Dave. What up, best friend? Ooh.
What's good, babe?
Hey,
What's good?
This is a rare occasion. This is a
Yes,
rare
sir.
occasion because we are about to do a superset with someone that I've actually known longer than David. And that shit hardly ever happens, right? What we have in the building, one of my oldest friends, my brother, the godfather of my future son, if my wife ever gives me one, right? We got Mo Harper in the building. What up, son?
You.
Oh, man. What up, yo? So glad to have you here, man. You know, for the month we wanted to do Black Health and Black Wealth. So we talking about wealth because you are one of the number guys that I know. In our circle, we call them pockets.
Gotcha.
So we're gonna hit some arms today, man, and we're gonna learn how to beef up our portfolio from an investor, Mo Harper. All right, what you got for us, Dave?
All right, so we're gonna hit arms today. We're gonna hit arms pretty good. All right, so our first set, you're gonna want to be near a pull-up or a chin-up station, and also a dip station, okay? Because we're gonna be working triceps as well as biceps. All right. So with the first workout, all right, we're gonna be doing a chin-up, but it's not gonna be an ordinary chin-up where you come all the way down. You're gonna come. I'm gonna show you here real quick. All right. So you're gonna find an underhand grip. Okay, that's very important for this exercise, right? All right, so when we come up here, right, we're gonna come all the way up. You see where I'm at? And then on the negative, right, we're gonna come to about a 90 degree right here. You can see this?
Yep.
Right? And then I'm gonna come back up, and I'm gonna come down slow, and I'm gonna come back up. That's gonna burn up. That's gonna burn up your biceps considerably. All right. So what we're gonna do is a max rep. We're gonna do as many as you can. This is sort of like a warm up for for today's workout for the next circuits. So take it easy. Go at your own pace. All right.
All right.
So in the next workout here, I'm gonna get to my dip station. You guys can see it here. All right. And what I want to do is I'm gonna just do a standard dip, right? But I'm not gonna do the dips that you guys are used to, where you kind of lean over and you're utilizing your chest. I want to stay upright. Okay. So when I come down, I want to isolate the tricep. All right, you guys can see that?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right, I like to go pretty low because I'm not using any weights to assist, or not to assist, but to kind of give me more resistance. So I kind of go a little slower and I go a little deeper. All right, again, go at your own pace. Do what you can handle. All right. So I like to come down slow to really make this workout pan out. To actually make it count. All right, simple as that, guys. That's the first circuit. And again, we're gonna do a max rep as well on this. And again, depending on how we feel, I'm gonna try to shoot for 3 sets. All right, you guys got it?
We got it.
All right. Yep.
Y'all said. I got something for y'all.
All right.
So, man, let's start with a little story time, of course. So we went to brunch. Decided, of course, to patronize a black business. We got there, food's supposed to be great. We waited outside. We had to wait outside because of COVID. Waited outside for an hour and 15 minutes. They told us that the wait was about 50 minutes. We waited outside for an hour and 15 minutes before we even went in to check our spot in line. Right? Just so happened, they never called us. So we go inside, right? There were 6 of us. We go inside. When we get inside, we're like, is our table ready? And the lady says, the young girl says, oh, we're not seating anyone else.
Uh-oh.
And my wife, of course, she almost goes crazy. She's like, wait, what you mean? Like, you're not seeing anyone else after us, right? Because we've been here for an hour and 15 minutes. No, we're not seating anyone else, right? So I step in front and I'm like, nah, I need to speak to the manager. She was like, there was a situation that occurred. We had an incident that happened. And we're not able to take anybody else. So I was like, go get your manager. She never gets the manager. Long story short, they're not going to take us. They're telling us that they're closing down. This is like 12 in the afternoon, 1 o'clock. They're closing down. So, we're pissed. So we step outside. We're about to go try to find someplace else to eat. And we hear all this commotion.
Ruckus.
Coming from the side. Raucous coming from the side of the building. The niggas is fighting. Tell me why. They closed down. They had to close shop on Sunday because the cook and the server were in there fighting, bro.
Boxing.
They had to close. Boxing. Raucous.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they lost all that money for the day. They lost a customer. The funny part about it is when we walked in there, they were playing gospel music.
Wow.
Sue's the savage beast. Sue's the savage beast, right?
Come on, it didn't work, man. They didn't work.
Nope,
so,
definitely not.
They got me thinking about Black businesses, man. Every time Mo comes to visit or every time we do a guys trip, we always try to patronize Black businesses, But,
That's
sometimes
awesome.
it's hard, man. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's hard to patronize a Black business. And it got me thinking about the pros and cons of Black business and Black entrepreneurial shit, man. What do y'all think about Black businesses, man? What are your experiences? What do y'all think of the pros and cons?
Hey Mo, you got it.
So I would say it depends the ownership, and I would say it depends the business and the location. Just like anything, like real estate, like a business, location. But I've been to Black businesses where they ran it like a business. It just happened to be a Black owner. And then I've been in businesses where there was a business and you could tell it was Black. And we know what that means.
Yikes.
Out of stock, service is trash, giving you attitude unnecessarily. Wow. Just, situations is unfortunate, but you want to support your own. So I will always, no matter what, support my own, even in those situations. Even if, they don't have everything you need, say it's poor, customer service, say it's a waiter, waitress, whatever. Still try to support it no matter what, leave a good tip. Probably will not definitely go back. I think some of the cons of a Black business, especially if you're a business that's similar to another business owned by white, Indian, Asian, whatever. I think we as a community, unfortunately, not all of us, but a good portion of us come into that business expecting like a hookup, expecting some type of discount. So, if the three of us are selling workout equipment or clothes or whatever, you don't go into Dick's Sporting Good or Walmart or Target asking for a discount unless it's something they're advertising. Why would you automatically assume we're going to give you one? Not that we won't, but, hey, brother, hook me up. I'm not saying that everybody, but I notice when certain businesses are in certain locations, I see that a lot. Hey, brother, hook me up. Or y'all can't do this. Or y'all ain't never got nothing. Y'all ain't never got this. It's like, I don't think people understand the true undertakings of a business. You got to buy the supplies. If it's a service where you're cooking or doing some type of creation, you got to have prep time for that. Say you're an establishment where you cook, restaurant, something like that. You got to hire good people. You got to pay good people. Health benefit. These are things that are not cheap. And when you price this out, you price it in a way where you get good people, provide a good service, and you want clients to come back continuously over and over and over. And that costs.
Yes.
And I think some people don't understand that. They think like, oh, why you charging so much? I thought you'd be cheaper than the next spot. And it's like, no, I got a cost. I got to feed my people. I got to feed my family, just like them. So, support.
And startup is big. Startup is big,
And I think people fail to realize like smaller businesses have way more startup. They don't have a kitty, as they say, or a coffer where they can go dig into if, things go slow. Look at what happened during the pandemic. Look how many businesses in general went under, let alone Black. So I think that, the pros are entrepreneurship. I think the pros are owning your own business, being your own boss. I would say definitely if, try it out. At the end of the day, I believe that my failures have been my greatest successes in life, that I've failed more than I've succeeded. And my success is learning from things that I didn't do well. But you got to try. And when you do, understand you're going to have some family, you're going to have some friends that aren't going to believe in you. They're not going to agree with what your goal is, and they're projecting their
Message.
fears onto you. So they're not saying that they don't think you can do it. They're trying to say through their advice, they don't have the appetite for that risk to do what you're doing. And some are afraid for you because they don't see themselves ever doing it. You know, somebody told me, oh, hey, I want to do a business. I'm not going to tell them the cons of it in the sense of why you can't do it. I'm going to say, okay, did you look at everything? Did you do your due diligence? Where is your location at? Where's your clientele? Who's your competition? You know, how can they take away from you? How can you take away from them? Did you look at the bottom line cost wholesale of what you're trying to purchase? What kind of costs are you going to do service wise? Is this going to be the only thing you're doing business wise, or are you going to have a full-time job and do this on a weekend? You know, make sure you do a full due diligence. Have a business plan. If you want to go get a loan in the bank, or what a lot of times I wish we would do is come to each other and say, hey, look, I want to
Whoa.
start this. Moj and Dave, you know, I need 50 racks. And we go, okay, boom, we'll give you 50. Well, you know, these are the terms. You know, obviously we'll work with you, but if you bring a business plan and we know you want to sell pies, and we're like, yo, your pies is fire. Let me know what
Yep.
you're trying to do. We'll work with you on something like that. You know, let's try to, you know, help our own, build our own. Like you guys build what we build, let's help our own, build our own. But come with a business plan. Don't come with a paper just saying, oh, I think I'm gonna do this. Nah, like look up all of the ingredients, look up the wholesale. Are you going to Costco's? Are you going to BJ's? Are you going to order it direct? Like, let me know you put the work in so that we'll feel comfortable giving you this loan.
Right.
Mm.
Right.
Mm. So what
That's
your man is
absolutely right.
saying, your man is saying we have to get comfortable, or we have to get used to doing good business. So yeah, you hit on a good point, man, when you said, you know what that means. It's just black, right? And that's so huge to me, right? Because I'm looking to shed that stigma, man. That's such a negative thing. Just to use that one word to kind of describe our business practices in a nutshell is ridiculous. But I get, like I said, I just had to interject with that, because I was, well, okay. So as far as we're hearing about the pros. The pros are evident, right?
Mhm.
Again, we want to establish businesses in our communities. We want to be able to establish generational wealth. But what are the cons? I would say to trying to, as far as startup being a minority. Or so, you know what? Let me X that out. Let me.
No,
We're gonna edit that
that's good. That's good.
because I don't like that.
That's
I don't
good.
like that word. I don't like that word anymore.
Okay.
But just being a black man. Just being a black man in startups, and like, what are the cons? Like, what are the pitfalls? What are the issues that you ran into? I mean, I get it, because like, we talked before, and you always told me that, green is green, money's green, and that's all people understand. But there had to be some kind of had to be some obstacles being a brother in the game, in the startup, and trying to, make your way into the field. Just tell us a little bit about that.
Let me add on to that, Dave. Let me add on to that, right? With like some statistics, right? Statistics say that this from Forbes, that 58% of Black businesses fail before startup or at startup. 58% of Black businesses,
Wow.
versus 27% of white businesses. Right. Black businesses, according to Forbes, generate less revenue, and they grow slower. Right. They have slower growth where they're not able to employ as many people. Right. So
Wow.
I would say those are some of the cons. If you're an intelligent Black person, right? If you're an intelligent Black person who knows numbers, and you're like weighing your risk versus reward, it's kind of like getting married, right? It's like there's a lot of single people that are like, man, the divorce rate is over 50%. Why the hell would I get married? Same shit with starting a business as a Black person. Right. So I just wanted to add those numbers on there, Mo.
No, 100%. Have a whole nother podcast about marriage and divorce. But anyway, so
Wow.
I would say some cons would be just as a Black business owner, depending on the business you're in. So I'm in cybersecurity, and I provide fancy word, information technology, information assurance, protecting your data. Everybody hears this new, the government, cybersecurity, hacking, Russia hacking, China hack. Cybersecurity, it's a very fancy term for protection of your data, protection of the medium for your data to transverse from out, your computer, your laptop, your phone, etc., to the location you wanted to go to, and vice versa coming back. So some of the issues I had in the beginning was I remember seeing another individual who was operating for a client who had a contract with the government. They were corp to corp. I didn't know what corp to corp was. Growing up, we're taught what? Go to college, get a
Yep.
degree, come out, get a good job. The whole middle class, get a wife, two kids, dog and
2.5 and a dog.
dog and all that. You know what I'm saying? And put them through the same thing you did, and you just save up some bread and be better. Not saying it's a bad plan, but and it's a separate thing. But just reading different books, talking, different people. Wealthy people don't teach their kids how to be employees.
Right.
Woo.
Middle class people do, and there's nothing wrong with that. Again, it's a mindset. If you don't know about consulting, 1099, corp to corp, business thing. So say all that to say, something like as if you come into a game we don't know much about. So I didn't understand corp to corp. I had heard what 1099 was. I didn't really know what that was. 1099 is, similar to a full-time employee. You're doing the same work, but you get paid an hourly rate. But you get paid an hourly rate under yourself. So you're a 1099 under Social Security. Maurice, Dave, J. Rue, Jared, let's call him Jared. Corp to corp is okay. You have, bill why'd you bill, PE. If you guys want to do a service with someone, the David and Jared are not doing the service. Bill while you build is doing the service.
Gotcha.
So corp to corp is you actually doing a contract of this service from this company provided to this particular client of this company. And some of the cons were just learning the lingo, learning, having to start a bank account. Everybody, just start an LLC and all that. Okay, you can start an LLC, but a lot of people don't know you have single member LLCs. You can also get taxed as an S corp, which a lot of doctors and lawyers, and what that means is pretty much you can have, I have Harper Consulting, but then I have Harper Consulting as the owner, but then I also have Maurice Harper, who's an employee of Harper Consulting, and I pay myself an actual salary every month. So just learning things like that, getting with an accountant, understanding, that terminology, and paying yourself 401k, healthcare benefits, PTO, what to charge, and then getting opportunity. At the end of the day, the most difficult thing I think for most Black businesses, the opportunity, whether it's getting a loan, whether it's getting that opportunity from a contract, whether it's, again, understand, like I said, finances, the field you're trying to get into, and just getting that helping hand. So I'm in the Maryland area right now, originally from Brooklyn. Shout out Brooklyn, of course. But I'm in the Maryland area.
All day.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, sure. Bing bong. But at the end of the day, we're gonna it's a lot of government contracts out here, and they call it the DMV, DC, Maryland, Virginia. So just understanding those relationships, knowing, having the ability to know something, train and so forth is important. Somebody told me this a long time ago, and it's always stuck with me. One of the many gems I have, but knowing what you know is important. Knowing who you know is more important. So
That's you.
I can be the smartest dude on the planet, but if I don't know anybody that has any contracts or availability to get me connections, there you go. It means nothing. So networking, it's not a lot of us networking. There are, as the more I looked into it, but initially I didn't know this. Like, you got to dig deep. You don't have to dig deep when other races. Not that you dig deep, but you know what I'm saying? You got to look for it with that. So that's some cons. And then again, the negative, like I said earlier, that negative backlash of, oh, you're going to do what? Are you sure? Like, that sounds a little shaky. Like, you're going to have that from friends and family because they don't know. My parents were definitely, they were cheerleaders and they wanted it, but they were a little unsure because, again, they grew up in an era you don't know. My granddad was a coal miner in West Virginia. My dad went to the Army, and, Jay knows him. He worked different out and in jobs, ended up working in the MTA. My mother worked for the government. So they all were, steady paycheck, secure jobs. They don't know what consulting is and
security.
There you go. And that's that thing. When you go to be an entrepreneur, you're taking a risk that I'm going to make this happen day in and day out, because that's the security, the confidence in you and the confidence in your business. Because it ain't no guaranteed paycheck if you don't got customers. It ain't no guaranteed paycheck if somebody ain't buying that service. or purchasing that product, or utilizing what you're giving out to that community that you're trying to give things to. So that's definitely some of the cons. And then again, we spoke about, in my instance, cybersecurity, but say I had a restaurant, say I got a gym. Oh, well, that gym be charging you like $15.99. It's like, okay, LA Fitness will charge you $19.99, or they charge you $10.99. We charge $12.99. It's $2 more. Well, LA Fitness is a big conglomerate.
Right.
We're a small gym. We got to charge you the extra $2 to cover certain overhead. But support Black. You all about Black Lives Matter and supporting Black. You can't support $2, bro.
Right. You can't support $2. All right. So Mo, let's pause right there. Let's pause right there. You gave us so much already.
Yo,
I hope y'all are paying attention, yo.
Yo,
I hope y'all are paying attention.
I want to do takeaways so bad, but I'm a resist. I'm a resist, but that's huge.
No, do the takeaways.
I mean, look, takeaways from this for me. Look, this is me. This is fuck the populace, right? Looking at this, no disrespect, but real talk. This is for me. The biggest thing is no risk, no reward, right? And practice makes perfect. Honestly, we're not going to know everything going in the game, and I think that's what scares a lot of us. That's what keeps us, a lot of us, behind the fence, just kind of peeking in and pairing that greatness is just that, again, trying to have everything, squared away before you even jump. And also that negative feedback from family and friends and even yourself. Like, I think, me more so as me, myself, like internally, like I'm an analytical mind. So I doubt myself constantly, bro. I'm the perfect CFO, right? I'm the perfect CFO because I'm gonna tell you what you can't do and why, right? So I'm doing that to myself constantly. And I think it's because of that, we don't have successful family members. Let's be real. We don't have people that have been there and done that to be able to encourage, to tell you that that's a reasonable risk or whatever have you. So a lot of us, I think, it's fear, man. Big. It's just that's the biggest thing. And again, like he said, practice makes perfect. He didn't know about all of these things, but networking and getting and he said he had more fails than he had successes, right? But the success is what shows, right? At the end of the day. So I mean, it's steel sharper than steel, and he got him right. So that's like I said, I'm grateful for your responses here, man. Definitely put me on the right in the right mindset. Thank you.
All right, Dave. What we got next, bro?
All right, we're gonna go with the tricep kickback too. Let me grab a set of weights here, and we're gonna do tricep kickbacks, and we're gonna do cross-body curls. All right.
Yep.
All right. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to lean over roughly around a 30-degree angle here. All right. And the goal is to keep my arms or my elbow stationary while I do this kickback to isolate the tricep. So I got the weights up here. This is the starting position, and I'm just extending it and coming back in. Extending it, coming back in. All right. Yep. First part of the circuit. Then the second part is going to be your cross-body overhand curl. All right. And the significance of this is pretty much, trying to get your forearms in the mix and the outside of your biceps. You're going to be doing a cross-body curl like this. You're going to make sure that your fist stays overhand in the overhand position. And you kind of bring it up to like chest, shoulder level. Simple as that. And you'll feel that again in your forearms and the outside of your biceps. Okay.
Copy that.
And I always want to believe that workout helps with that separation between your triceps and your biceps.
Your biceps.
Right?
All right, bet.
All right.
Good. All right, cool. Y'all set.
All right.
Dave, you mentioned fear when you're talking about starting a business. I guess anybody should have fear or would have fear when they were starting a business. But specifically, since Black businesses are failing at that rate, at 58%, I can understand having some fear. But what's crazy to me is this number, this statistic, 835 billion. 835 billion. In 2019, it was reported that Black families spent or contributed $835 billion to the U.S. economy. And it's been growing at a rate of 5% every decade. Right. So pretty much here in 2022, we're sitting at probably about a little over $1 trillion. $1 trillion that we're contributing to the U.S. government. So when you think about it in terms of Black folks spending that kind of money, no Black person should ever be afraid to start a business, right? Because it should be like, it should be like, yo, I'm Black, and this should work because my people spend the most money, right? But one thing I noticed in my community though is, I want to know what y'all think about this, right? In my community, I live in predominantly Black and Latino community. We have stores like, and I'm gonna call you out. We have stores like Kroger. We have stores like the Family Dollar. And these stores, they don't stay fully stocked. These stores don't look, Publix also, these stores don't even look or have the layout as other stores in white neighborhoods. And it fucking pisses me off. I'm wondering why my grocery store, why my dollar store, why are the stores in my neighborhood who are chains and franchises? Why is Popeyes or even Burger King, why are they understaffed or poorly staffed? Why are they running out of food? Why are our stores in Black communities not doing as well as they are in white communities when we spend so much money? Have y'all noticed that? Have you noticed that your grocery stores in Black neighborhoods look different from grocery stores in white neighborhoods?
Absolutely, 100%. And that comes to.
What is that about?
So it comes down to economics, obviously, but the economics of, okay, how much is being spent in that store on a daily, weekly, monthly, when products are being purchased as a chain. Okay, certain stores will get a certain amount of supplies. So I do notice that you'll go to an area, let's say more urban, they won't have as many things as you go to a suburban kind of new up and coming area that's got the different restaurants and the movie theaters and things of that nature. Without speculation, but I mean it's economics. Is okay, how much of that community is being spent in that community, and how much is actually going into the different stores, the different businesses, the type of employees, the type of management, the type the location obviously, but what's being put in so you get out. And then also what a lot of times we don't talk about, and you may be doing this, are we complaining to that?
Right.
Here we go.
That's what I was waiting for.
Because we know, don't want to say call it out, but we know white people go to the managers and be like, dude, your strawberries are old as hell. Your grapes are old as hell. Your blueberries are old as hell. Your salad is spoiled. What's up? Like, I'm coming here to, utilize this business. What's going on? Give me better product. Like, are we, making a point to talk to that management? Are we writing letters? Are we emailing overall management? You mentioned Publix. For me, up here in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area, you got Whole Foods, but we got a Wegmans. Wegmans is like a Publix. I got
Wegmans. Okay. Yeah.
I don't see Wegmans in the hood.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but I don't remember seeing a Wegmans. And when I say hood, I mean a predominantly Black area. Now I'll see Giants in the hood. I see Safeways in the hood.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'll see those type of grocery stores. I don't see a Wegmans in the hood. I've never seen a Whole Foods in the hood.
Why we were talking with Nate Wilkins the last episode about Black wellness and nutrition. Do you think it's because of food deserts, or do you think that they think Black folks not going to spend money at a Whole Foods? Because I don't have a Whole Foods in my neighborhood. Because we spending the money. Yeah, we spending the money, right? Well,
we are, but we also have to look at the income of our neighborhood. So we, we'll spend the money, other people spend the money, but we don't know any better. What I mean by that is, you'll see more McDonald's, Wendy's, fast food chains than you'll see healthy grocery options.
Right.
They're more expensive to go buy fruits, vegetables, water, than it is to go get a Big Mac or a Baconator or something. And I'm not hating on people that do that, but I mean, let's keep it a buck. You can spend $10 and get bags of food, $20 and get bags of food. You go to $20, you spend $20, especially now with inflation being what it is. You spend $20 at the grocery store, you coming home with one bag.
Yeah, one bag.
And to really get enough fruits and vegetables and things that are, I mean, you guys are healthy. You guys eat right. Your body, like y'all taught me this, abs are built in the kitchen. Your body is what you put into it. The working out is keeping you strong, but the food is what helps replenish, simple. So eating healthy and eating right helps you with that. I mean, think about it. I can go to McDonald's or something and spend $10 and get a big, and get maybe, burger, fries, just big, all of that. But let me go to like a salad place. Let me go to Cava. Kava, excuse me. Let me go to Salad Work. Some of these places like that. $10 is a salad, but you ain't getting much
Right.
of it. You get the
Nah.
protein, the salmon, the chicken, the vegetables. You're paying almost $20 for a salad. Think about
Right.
that. $20
For
for a
yourself.
salad.
For yourself.
Not just you, the wifey, the kids, you know, your girl, whoever, just for yourself. So if you're spending $20 just for one salad, you still got to feed 3 more people at home. You're
Right.
talking about $60, and that's one
Yeah.
meal. You know what I
Yep.
mean? So that's the economics of eating healthy. One thing, like, and then we as a community, in my personal opinion, we don't teach eating healthy. A lot of us drink soda. Growing
Right.
up, I used to drink dark soda a lot. I mean, I don't drink so. I might drink a Sprite, but I can say I haven't probably touched a Pepsi or Coke, anything dark in years. I'll drink a Sprite maybe or Sierra Mist, whatever you want to call it. But basically, I drink water or liquor. That's how I look at it. Love my whiskey. You know, or maybe some beer, but I stay away from the dark liquors. But yeah, it's definitely like you said, and the health as well. So if you don't have a bunch of, if you have more healthy people, then they can do what they need to do to earn wealth, to better themselves in the situation. But if you got diabetes, if you got high blood pressure, you got all of these things, you know, how are you going to be able to push forward and do more and do greater things? I'm not saying that's the only reason. There's obviously some sick people that are wealthy, but just simple things like that. Finances and health to me are one and one. Knowing how to balance a checking account, knowing how to, you got
Health
$1,000
as
credit
well.
card limit. I mean, health
Yeah.
as well, finance as well. So I got a
Yeah.
$1,000 credit limit. Don't spend $1,000. Use it for emergencies. Put
Right.
put a cell phone bill on it and pay it off immediately, so you can build
Get
your
you some
credit.
life insurance, you know?
Oh my God, get you some life insurance. How many times we got to do a GoFundMe, or as my dad says all the time, they had to do fish
Wow.
fries and all that because people didn't have enough money to bury somebody.
Wow.
Think about that.
Mo, right there. That leads to our next question, right there. So we talk about, and I appreciate what you said, man. And you're absolutely right. We need to start writing letters, and we need to start complaining, to make our communities look better.
Hey, before you get into that, let me add one thing. All right, and this is big for me. All right, so when we talking about complaining, and we talk, see, one thing that we don't understand collectively is what you with the statistic you gave earlier as far as our spending power. We don't understand what that even means, and you know, and we don't have a grip on it. Okay, so recently Byron Allen, you guys know who Byron Allen is?
Yep.
He's like he's a big time producer, man. He's a billionaire, man. He's making big money creating shows.
Yeah.
He basically I think he won a lawsuit against I'm not sure, so I don't really want to mention the business, but he won a lawsuit, a discrimination lawsuit, and he pretty much so through that he's fueling another campaign against GM. Okay, look, scratch that. Another automotive company, okay, basically stating that they don't cater to, I guess, African Americans. Okay, they don't cater. They don't spend as much money on advertisement on African Americans. What I think is kind of a bullshit lawsuit, if you ask me. Because if we're not going to collectively, care about how we spend money like other communities do, then who cares of what money you put into advertising to these guys? Because they're going to spend willy nilly anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But I guess out of the $3 billion that this company spends annually on advertisement, they only spend $30 million in the Black community, which,
that's how it goes too.
Again, economically, if that's all I need to bolster their, or to basically to garner their sales in their community, that's all I'm going to spend. So I don't really understand how he has basis, but that's just a testament to show you how, how much they're actually spending towards us. Because you got to look at all of our rappers, our entertainers. We promote all of these major designer labels, but yet we don't ask for anything in return. So that's one thing. I think that's one of our biggest pitfalls, is the fact that we don't understand our spending power.
Our spending power, right?
We need to get a grip.
And even with that being said, right? When we're talking about complaining, we're talking about not only complaining and writing letters, but not spending, right? Like when people talk about boycotting, we think it's just something cute that's never really, we don't think of it in a realistic term. But when you stop spending your money in a place that doesn't treat you right or doesn't properly, it's not they're not doing good business. They feel that, all right? And then they start paying attention to those letters. They have to, all right? Especially your franchises, because I'm about to start doing it, especially your franchises that are in your neighborhood. But talking about building wealth, You know, because you were talking about you were talking about building credit. Mo, you said don't if you got 1,000, don't spend 1,000. You know, use it to. Let's talk more about that, man. What are some ways that you have and that you see that Black folks can start to generate build generational wealth?
Ooh, I got you on that one. I want to touch real quick on some of the things Dave was talking about. So I know the Byron Allen suit. I forgot. I think it was against one of the theater, the big movie
Yes.
theater.
Yes.
And it was because they were not putting money into, I'll just say blacks, minorities. Another lawsuit that just got launched, and y'all can Google this, and I saw it going around online. Wells Fargo is getting sued now too, because
Wow.
The
they
loans.
are, yeah, for the
Yeah.
loans that are being given out to minorities in areas, and it's saying, and people go, well, you know, like you said, Dave, what's the basis? Well, if you really look at home ownership and how wealth was built from the 40s, 50s to now,
Mm,
it was home
mm.
ownership. So, you know,
Right.
when we
Right.
redlining and not giving us loans, that starts with generational wealth because, you know, if our mothers and grandfathers didn't have property and land to pass on to us, or in instances where they did, but we didn't
Yep.
know any better, and because they didn't pay taxes, the land got snatched from them. And then some white
Sure.
developer came in and put 20 houses on it and made
Right.
bread, or, you know, turned it into a bunch of tenants. Now he put generational wealth in his kids and grandkids' pockets. But that's
Right.
just on that real quick. But to transition to generational wealth, it's home ownership. It's Dave mentioned early. It's life insurance. A lot of
Uh,
people, you know, a grandparent or parent will pass, they'll have a significant policy, and that'll help them get started by buying a house or starting a business. When you buy a house, yeah, a lot of people got to understand it's going to be work. You know, if the roof gets messed up, that's on you. Pipes in the wall get messed up, that's on you. Things in the house get messed up, that's on you. But you have an asset if you buy it in a good neighborhood, location with, you know, hopefully good schools, that over time will acquire or will
Appreciate.
appreciate, thank you, appreciate and value. And now you can go get a line of credit. You can do a refinance with cash and maybe go buy another property or go start a business or put your kid through college. So let that asset be an asset.
mm,
So, you know, purchasing real estate, something as simple as understanding your credit and understanding your finances. Like, don't spend more than what you have. If you bring in $5,000 a month, don't spend $7,000. That doesn't make any
right.
sense. And we'll do
Right.
that. And I'm not talking about just buying a club. Like, you don't need those Jordans. You don't need some of that
Right.
design again. I'm not saying don't have nice things if you bust your butt, but at the end of the day, you know, put yourself first. My mom taught me that a while ago. Like, save, put money into your saving. Put yourself first. So when you pay all your bills, pay yourself. And then if you got a
Right.
little left over, go eat, go drink, do whatever. Put money in an account that you can't touch and have it be automatic. You'd be surprised how much
Mm.
I have accounts for my sons right now that between what I got coming in, my businesses or real estate, things of that nature, I automatically have money sent to accounts. I look at it
Wow.
maybe to a year. You'd be shocked how you can put, depending if you put $100 in an account a week, $400, times that by 12, that's $4,800.
Yep.
That's how easy $4,800 can put. Like, if I tell you, hey, can you save $4,800 a year? Oh man, that sounds like a lot of money. I don't know if I can do that. Okay, have $100 automatically deducted from your account into a separate account. You don't touch it.
Right.
You
Exactly.
can get to it, but you just put it there. You forget it's even there. Check it at the end of the year.
Right.
You'd be like, oh wow, something simple
Right.
as that. I mean,
Right.
so teaching your kids credit. Getting a credit card that's in their name, or excuse me, in your name with them as authorized users, but at the same time,
Ah.
you don't let them use it.
Right.
You let them use it when you're with them, but that's how you help build their credit up. You put
Right.
things on it. When they're young, give them like a little debit card and have them do chores around the house, put some money on the card and have them spend it. And when it runs out, they like, yo, you can't use it no more. So now they
Right.
understand like, oh, I can't spend it on certain things. But
Mm.
I think really for the transgenerational wealth, home ownership. And some
Yeah.
people look at it now, home ownership is different. If you got a family, you want to obviously buy a single family home. You want to get something where obviously, you, the wife, the kids, whoever it is good and then, obviously
Which
appreciate value. something that I didn't think about, and I had, as again, being around people with different mindsets. I know dudes in college that would took some of their work study money or their money they got for scholarships and went and bought cribs in the hood.
Yeah.
And then an uncle, somebody was a contractor, knew how to fix things a little bit, and then they rented that out, and now they had an income property in college.
Yeah.
Coming out, or you come out and you don't got no kids. You're a bachelor. You trying to get yourself situated. You got some student loans. Instead of buying a single family home or a condo, go buy like a 4-unit apartment building.
Wow.
They in 1 unit, went the other 3 units out.
Right.
House hack.
Right.
House hack. Yes, sir.
I mean,
And another thing I want to touch on real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
So he talked about an asset. All right. So you guys out there listening, all right, there's a difference, right, between an asset and a liability when it comes to real estate, right? Asset, like him buying a home, what you would call an asset is something that makes you money. A liability is something that you pour money into. So a lot of us that just own homes and we live in and we're paying on, fixing the water heater, doing all, putting money back into that. That's a liability. Now, an asset is something that you're not living in, okay, obviously, and someone else is paying off either your mortgage or you're getting straight income from that rental. So that's the difference, and that's very important. Guys need to know the difference between that. I'm sorry, man. I don't mean to cut you off, but I just want to hit on that. I just want to hit on that bit.
I mean, because I'll be talking about certain things, and there's certain things that need to be broken down like that. But yeah, definitely, there's different ways of doing it. That, again, no disrespect to our parents and grandparents and those before us, they didn't know any better. And these are the
They weren't given those tools.
They weren't given those tools, those resources. Like I said, wealthy parents don't teach their kids how to be employees. Right. So we got to change our mindset. You know what I mean? You guys are in gyms right now. You want to go get a gym, you got the mindset. You guys clearly love working out. And that's something where, hey, let's come to our community and say, hey, we know Dave, we know Jay be killing it. They saw this gym that's going out of business. They think they can refurbish some of the weights. They got a budget on getting some better weights. They got some clients already. Hey, let's invest in you. So like a stock, if you bought Tesla umpteen years ago, Google umpteen years ago, look how much it is right now. Right. We got to invest in the way we, we'll buy watches, we'll buy certain things that appreciate value, art. I think we got to treat ourselves and our community the same way. If I see that, you guys are trying to do something, let me invest in y'all. I got my nieces right now doing some things and I help, invest with them, some other friends. And I think, unfortunately, and it's a thin line when you're doing well and some people want to, get assistance, get help. Right. There's help. There's help and there's a crutch. Gotcha. Okay, if I give you some bread, what are you going to do with it? Like too often, if you look at rappers, entertainers, athletes, what happened? How they go broke besides bottles and jewelry and fancy cars? They give money to their family.
Entourages. Yeah.
They give money to all these people to open up restaurants. And I'm not against giving money to somebody to open up a business, but do they really have a business plan? Okay,
does it make sense?
Be a restaurant owner? Are you a chef? Okay, let me put you through school to be a chef. And then I have no problem having you open a restaurant because you know what it means to be a chef. Or
right.
Do you need?
Is there a need? Is there a need? You know what I mean? That's like the biggest thing too.
Like, show me you gonna put your 100% effort into this. Like it's your last thing that you got to do. So I know we got a little off topic, but yeah, for me, generational wealth again is generational wealth really, and this is the hardest part for a lot of people to understand. Generational wealth is you sacrificing something now for your kids, grandkids, grandkids later. So you might not see the dividends now, but your grandkids. So I didn't do much but get this house and got an insurance policy for $250,000, $500,000. Oh, that don't seem like much, but guess what? When that house appreciates and the kids either keep it as a rental or sell it, or that life insurance kicks in when you pass, guess what? Now they got that $500,000 that they can go put into something, that they can go do something with.
It's a good
not
start.
to mention that you taught them what to do with it, right?
That part, when they get that money, too many people, and I speak on my own family members, too many people in our community run into lump sums of money, and they got quarter, half, 3/4. Give them a year, they broke. Because the hardest thing for a lot of people that don't have money to understand is $1 million ain't shit. Excuse my language.
Right.
It ain't. $1 million ain't shit. Like, you can blow $1 million like that.
Wow.
Right.
Blow $500,000 like that. That's nothing. So you don't know what you're gonna do with it, what plans you're gonna make with it. Somebody get $500,000, like, oh, I'm set. You set for what? 6 months? A year?
It's
Yeah.
like Chris Rock said. Chris Rock says, count down till this nigga go broke.
That part, because what people understand is, okay, the money ain't coming back in, bro. So like, you're gonna sit and live off of it, but you ain't gonna live the same way you lived before you had $500,000. You know what you was doing before. You was eating a certain way, living a certain way. Right. But, oh, now you got to go buy high end. Oh, I got to go buy this whip. Or I got to go on these trips and be first class. That money goes like that. So generational wealth comes with sacrifice. Those that came before us that knew they weren't going to see the dividends of the work they put in now, but knew that, like you both hit it on the head. The gems they put in their kids' heads goes to their grandkids, goes to their great grandkids. That's who's going to benefit from generational wealth. Think about all the rich, wealthy white people, not trying to call them out, that are wealthy right now. That came from slave owners years ago.
Right.
When you got free labor and they built that up, now they living off the dividends from that hundreds of years ago. So we got to look not 5-10 years up the road. We got to look 20-30 years up the road and go, okay, I may not necessarily, and then we may, you may get lucky enough to hit a lick, get a business, start, do whatever, but build foundation, build finance, build foundation, whether it's buying an asset like they spoke about with the house, whether it's, maybe starting a business, life insurance, starting an annuity, just little things, putting the money away. Like I said, do things that'll build a foundation so that you teach your kids good practice habits of not doing more than what they can. Like, don't overspend. If you can't, somebody probably told him, but I heard it on Jay-Z, if you can't buy something twice, don't buy it.
That's right. Yeah.
Now, the one thing I will say is, don't work and not enjoy life. So if you're gonna spend bread on something, spend bread going to go to an island to get away and stress yourself and recharge your battery. Take your kids to see something besides the corner store and the basketball court up the street. Spend bread on that. But why spend bread on them Jordans, on that Balenciaga, on that Gucci? If you ain't got it, don't spend it. Because there's a bunch of people that got all of these fancy sneakers and fancy clothes and cars and houses, and they're miserable when they're bored. And there's some people that live and they loving life.
Wow.
So I'm not one of those to say money can't buy you happiness. I don't totally agree with that statement. I get who's saying that, but a lot of people that usually say that don't got money. Have money.
That is absolutely.
I don't like people up here trying to tell people down here don't
try to get it. Yeah, don't try to get it.
That's bullshit. No, I'm gonna tell you.
The scarcity mindset.
Like,
yo, don't.
Hey, no. Yo, I'm telling you, it's crazy up here.
It ain't all of that.
It ain't all of that. You know what? Let me get up there and see
find out
myself.
Let me be the judge of that. You know what I mean?
Let me be the judge of that, my dude. Like, I appreciate you, but I want to find that out for myself.
I felt that last circuit, Dave. What we got next?
All right, so I got a variation here for the tricep workout. So normally this is a tricep extension with an easy bar. For folks that don't have an easy bar or even a bench, right? You can substitute here. So you can lay flat on the ground, like my man Jay over there, right? Pretty much have 2 dumbbells like this, kind of bring them to the sides of your head and extend them out. All right? Extend them out and make sure that this elbow stays in place. You don't want it flaring out here. There's no point in that. Okay? Ain't no point in being here if you ain't gonna do it right. So be careful with this exercise too. Like when you get a little fatigued, in your last couple of reps,
knock yourself.
You don't want exactly that. So you want to be careful with this and know your limitations. All right. So just kind of lightweight it first, see where you're at. If you're a beginner, if you know what you're doing, progress. But I'm not responsible for anything that does occur. Right. All right. So the other variation here will be a skull crusher. Okay, I get to the edge of the bench here. Ooh, pardon me, and I want to be able to extend this, past my head to get a good stretch of my tricep to get a better range of motion. See that?
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. So that's that workout. And then again, you want to stay light with that. You don't want to hurt yourself. Hyperextending yourself off the side of the so I recommend using the dumbbells for this for beginners. All right. And also the next workout is going to be a waiter curl. Now we're gonna be standing for this workout. All right, you're gonna find a reasonable dumbbell. All right, you're gonna kind of find a split in your hand between your two fingers here, right, and interlock like this. You can see that, and
Oh,
you're gonna hold your arms close to your body, and you're just gonna curl up. All right. Now you want to be careful with this, right? Like like I recently in one of our recent episodes, you don't want to come down too far, right? Because you see where that's going, right? So you want to be able to maintain the negative and just bring it up. All right.
yep.
Simple curl workout, man. This is a very effective workout. All right.
Cool.
So you guys got it?
So Mo,
We got it.
some people they think that they can't create generational wealth, or they think that they can't create wealth for themselves because of where they come from. All right, they have like kind of stigma when it comes to that. So in our SuperSets, we like to get to know our guests. We want to know a little bit more about you. Where do you come
So, from Brooklyn, originally born in Detroit, left when I was about 2, but Brooklyn, gotta rep my hometown in the sense of what raised me. As you know, known Jared since first grade. So, grew up in Brooklyn. We all went to the same school, elementary school. Went to boarding school in New Hampshire. Shout out to New Hampton. Um, did that for 4 years. Then went to Lehigh University for engineering. Went for a double major, electrical and what was the other one? Electrical engineering and software. Electrical engineering, another one I forgot, but I ended up switching that quickly. To go to I was trying. So my initial what I wanted to do was like business investment, business analyst, but they didn't have it at the time. Ended up being a offered option after I got there the sophomore year. Unfortunately, did not get to finish at Lehigh. At the time, my first ex-wife had my son, and trying to basically be a dad at the age of 21. Yeah, being a dad at the age of 21 and trying to raise kids, and it's difficult to try to finish class. So did not get to finish Lehigh. Ended up actually just working different odd end jobs out in the Allentown, Pennsylvania area, if anybody's familiar with that. So worked at call centers, worked at warehouses, used to do forklifts, um, stacking crates, just anything to basically, put food on the table. So definitely understand, from a blue collar standpoint, as well as from what I am now, white collar standpoint. Started working in the networking area as far as with got my Cisco certs. Anybody that understands Cisco products, they understand networking. Went there to get my certs and used that to go ahead and get myself situated with respect to that area. Went back to school, got my bachelor's and my master's in information security, and from there, just took opportunities that came to me. And one of the opportunities that arrived to me was I was given an option to do a contract in Philadelphia, but it fell through. At that point, they still wanted me, but I had to come out to Virginia, and opportunities don't usually not when you're given a good salary with no degree. So I said, all right, let me go ahead and jump on that, and went and did that, and parlayed that into um, another contract where got cool with a couple folks, and that's when it was called information assurance. Like I said, the new buzzword people hear a lot of cybersecurity, but it was called information assurance. Again, data protection. But
okay, yeah.
got in that field, and I actually got lucky. I fell into a field that created itself, and got into it early. Made a name for myself out here as far as in the DMV area, and was able to utilize that to take my services and start to consult. Again, didn't know what consulting was. I had to ask questions. I asked around. I bet on myself. I saw that the company I was with wasn't going to give me. There was going to be a ceiling for how high I can go, and I said,
Wow.
let me go ahead and try this consulting thing. I was young enough. It was, the ability that if it didn't work out for me, I can go back and get a job paying me a good salary. So I cashed out my 401k, opened up an LLC, got some
Wow.
business, um, took a contract that normally would be a full-time job and said, hey, I want to do a corp to corp. And the lady agreed, said, okay, that's fine. Because a lot of people don't understand. So again, corp to corp and 1099, as a full-time employee, when you work with someone, your employer pays your taxes, pays your healthcare benefits, et cetera. If you're 1099 or corp to corp, 1099 would be my social security number. Corp to corp is my business was another business. I just get paid an hourly rate.
Yeah.
And at that point, so once I learned that, then I had to learn how to do PTO. I had to learn how to do things like that, how to properly charge. But anyway, that's how I started my business and parlayed that into different contracts. At that point, just took that and did other things. And, just as more opportunities presented themselves, the more I continue to take on different options, start to grow the business, started to understand better the economics of business. Like I said, healthcare, putting money away for 401k. When the money comes in taxes, let's be clear, people think taxes are something like you should get money back. Not saying that's not a bad thing, don't get me wrong. But if you get a bunch of money back from Uncle Sam, you gave more than what he's giving you back. Trust me.
Right.
You know what I mean? When you start getting to a point when it comes to taxes, you either want to break even, pay them a little, or get a little back, but you don't want to be getting them $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 unless you don't work at all and you claim the kids. But they most of that got killed off the book with Trump. Trump when he was in office. But it just came from that and was able to kind of figure things out. Like I said, fell into a field that became hot, and it's a big commodity out here. Got my security clearance during that time as well, so that helped out as well. I would say the biggest thing is opportunity. Where to put and then took that opportunity to go invest in buying assets. So what are assets like they spoke earlier? So, buying buying properties and renting them out. Get into the stock market. One of the biggest things that can help if you have some money. If you want to go spend money on Jordans and Gucci and Balenciaga, you can go put money in the stock market. Yep. So, take $1,000, go put it in the stock market and put it in stocks that are going to eventually, do your due diligence or talk to someone that has a financial advisor or someone that to trust someone that can give you some advice. And, you can put it in ETFs, which are a bunch of stocks, like you put on a bunch of stocks in a overall stock. You can try that. Or if you want to do a Tesla, a Google, if you're going to buy something a lot that has staying power, do it. Put your money in Tesla. Tesla right now, I think is over $1,000. Dropped because of the whole war in Ukraine and everything, down about 7 something, and it just popped back up to 1,000. So say you just put $1,000 in Tesla, last week or a week and a half ago, and you maybe lost a little bread, but you probably would have got a nice little bump of off that. So putting same way we can put money away to buy nice things and go out, put that same money away again and invest in yourself, bet on yourself. I would also say look into doing things that have high reward, but it may be high risk, but understand the risk. So again, if I want to go into a business, but I don't have all the capital, I keep bringing this up because I feel like we need to invest in ourselves. I come to my family, I come to friends. Understand that 90% of those people are going to close the door on you or say, or give you that, I'm going to get back to you. That's fine. Because at the end of the day, it's no different than, direct sales marketing. I look at anything from an opportunity standpoint with a baseball analogy. What I mean by that is if you go 3 for 10 in football, that's 30%. That's a horrible throwing percentage. Yeah. If you go 3 for 10 in basketball, that's 30% shooting. That's horrible. If you go 3 for 10 in baseball, that's a Hall of Famer.
That's a Hall of Famer. That's true.
300 is a Hall of Famer. 200 is the average hitter.
Yep.
So if I ask 10 people to help me and 2 people help me,
you struck gold, yeah.
I mean, and understanding that you're gonna have more people tell you no because they fear what could happen, what the negatives of it than the positives of it. But if you are true and genuine, the people that really want to rock with you, they'll rock with you.
Right. That's good advice. That's good advice. So where you headed now, Mo? What you got upcoming? Because I saw your Instagram. And
oh boy, dope.
Popping.
Um, so shout out to my partner, Giovanni Castro Harper. So a lot of people see the Castro Harper Instagram. What that is one of my guys from college that I went to school with. Um, we are basically working with investors and getting seed money to purchase buildings in Bushwick, acquiring them at a good price, renovating them, going to get hard money loans. And just for hard money loans, think about if you want to go fix something up or do. So hard money loans are no different than fast cash loans. The difference is you're going directly to, in most instances, a person. So I bought a crib in, you know, Bushwick for, let's say, 100,000, and I need another 150,000 to get things situated. Now, obviously, these numbers are very low because anybody that knows New York prices is way more than that. But I say, hey,
Yeah.
I don't got the 150,000. All right,
Yeah.
Jay, Dave, this is my plan. This is what I want to do. I got experience, either me or I got a contractor that has experience knocking this out, and they're going to get this building done for me in 8 to 12 months. Y'all say, all right, bet. We'll give you the 150, so many points. The points are percentages on it. So paying so many points, and I have to have it paid off and given back to you by, say, 12 months, or I have to pay an extension fee. But anyway, we'll do the 100, go borrow 150. We know we're gonna get it done before the limits that you gave us. And once it gets flipped, it then becomes the value jump. So now from 100,000, I put 150, and now let's say houses in that area going for half a mil. So I bought it for 100, put 150 in, and now let's say it's worth 460. So
Oh
now I got
wow.
equity. You know what I mean? So now I can
Yeah.
go do a refi, pull money out on a refi, pay you all off, still have a little bread in my pocket, put some tenants in it to help pay for what that mortgage is going to be on the refi. And then if there's money left, go ahead and go look for another building to do the same thing.
Uh,
So my
so,
partner calls it the buy, renovate, refinance, and I think it's redo, but basically just it's the same.
so wait,
Yeah.
so y'all aren't flipping. Y'all aren't flipping though. Y'all not flipping it. Y'all are owning it and renting it out, right?
There's some that we are
Half and
flipping,
half.
and there are some that it's half. It depends. I mean, if the
That's like,
profit is too great, then yeah, no, we're gonna sell it based on what
yeah,
somebody's trying
Right.
to pay for it. But if
yeah,
it just if it makes more sense to keep and rent it out and then eventually sell it down the line. So it depends. It's based upon obviously return on investments, but it's also on what makes sense. What a rents are like. Rents were trash during COVID. Nobody was paying any
yeah,
rent, and you have more people looking for one bedrooms than New York. Like most big cities, you got a lot of people that live together that don't know each other. But COVID killed a lot of that. So 3 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms, the big ones, they kind of dropped in price because no one was staying in that because of COVID. But yeah, basically now that things are normalizing to a point, I won't say COVID is gone, but normalizing to some point, you start to see rents getting to a point where they were, I would say, a little bit before pre-COVID. But again, it's understanding, doing your due diligence, understanding where the areas you're buying in, understanding the areas where that market is looking. And in this particular case, again, I got to shout out my partner, Giovanni. He, is helping set that market, and he getting in with people that, just to be honest, the three of us would never have known or gotten into growing up.
Wow.
We
yeah,
Wow.
would have never known. So
That's
we're in
big.
rooms, we're in rooms and meetings talking to people with money that I couldn't even imagine years ago. And
yeah,
again, that
yeah,
started from me saying I'm going to bet on myself and open up my consultant business, which then allowed me to generate the revenue to look into these other opportunities. So again, that's that
yeah,
generational wealth. I'm not going to see the true benefits of everything that I've been doing and sacrificing for the last 10 years and the next 10, 15, 20 years, but my kids will. So whether if I want my kids to go to a good college or not go to a good college, talking to uh, different people as far as what things that they would do move forward. And one of the things for college, I would say, and Jay, Dave, this too. We're taught go to a college, get a good
right,
degree, and all that. You're never really taught be an entrepreneur.
right,
You never taught tradesmen make good money. I know people that are landscapers, that are carpenters, general contractors making bread. You know, teaching our kids that there are more than one way. They say more than one way to skin a cat. There are more options than being a doctor, being a lawyer.
Yeah, teacher. Yeah, that's
So,
absolutely right.
He's utilizing the banker blueprint. Have you seen that movie with Sam Jackson and Anthony Mackie?
Yeah.
Have you seen that? Yeah. So you utilizing that banker. I love that. That's amazing. That's absolutely being in the room with guys you probably wouldn't be able to without that network. That's amazing. You know, that's probably one of my Achilles heels, the networking thing, being an introvert. But trying to break out of that now, you know, definitely through this platform and through conversations just like this, man. We definitely appreciate you, brother. Definitely appreciate you.
Man.
Dude, that's game for you guys. That's the game. That is the game.
We usually like to end the you've given so much already to our workout buddies at home and to us. We usually like to end the podcast in two ways. One, ask for you to give us a bit of advice, or you know, something that you're either dealing with now, or something that you're still thinking through, or something that you live your life by. And also we need a PE for today. You know, you got it. All right. So Dave, what's the PE for today?
So the PE for today, man, is prosperity and equity. All right. So, you know, enough said, man. Nothing more needs to be said. That's the way we're gonna come up. That's the way we're gonna, you know, basically put some respect on this hue.
I like it. All right, Mo, what you got, man? Give us a leave behind.
A couple things to lead them on. So, two things. One, I say this all the time to people: learn to be comfortable being uncomfortable. I think a lot of people don't like that. That goes over a lot of people's head. Learn. And Dave, you mentioned something about networking. You said I'm pushing myself. You know, you understand what networking can bring. You understand going in the mixers. You know, going on the golf course, things of that nature. You know, it makes you a little more comfortable. But you're pushing yourself to do something you know that's going to benefit you and your family in the future. Learn to be comfortable being uncomfortable. Too often, especially in our community, we are comfortable being in a certain situation that we know the risk, we know the reward. We don't want to do anything that takes us out of our comfort zone. Learn to be comfortable being comfortable, and you'd be shocked how many things in life you can do when you push yourself to do more than what you sometimes even your own mental. You mentioned this earlier in the podcast, self-sabotaging, let alone people, family and friends, or just people that know you. So, learn to be comfortable being uncomfortable. Push yourself to do things that you don't think you can do because you were told you couldn't do, but you never actually failed at. So how do you know you can't do it? And one thing that I posted on IG, I saw said, clap for your friends and their success, even if it transpires before yours.
Wow. Yeah. Indeed.
People get upset. Oh man, you know, Dave and Jay got this podcast and it's popping. Who are they? And that's. I mean, I got my podcast. I got, like, what does that have to do with anything? Y'all success does not affect my success. And my success doesn't affect your success. I want y'all to be wild great. I hope y'all do get picked up and be the next $1 million worth of game, or you know, something like that, or whatever the case may have. You podcast, like, I want to see y'all well. I want to see y'all successful. I want to see y'all and your families doing well. I'm not one of those hating, like, oh man, look at them doing that. Like I was better than that. No, that's crazy to me. Like, celebrate
crabs in a barrel.
Yep. That part. Celebrate people's success, because you never know when something will come around from not just good luck and just, you know, putting that good juju that they say in the air, but it shows that you're not a hater, that your success and anything that should motivate you. You should see someone doing better, get motivated by it, not get mad by it. Like, why are you mad that someone is doing well? They showing you something you probably wouldn't have seen. So go get that. You push forward.
Healthy competition. Healthy. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yo, hey, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, it ain't too many that's realer than Mo. I'll tell you that from personal experience. You know, some people talk about it, other people live it. You're definitely living it. Always a pleasure. Always love, Mo. Thanks for coming on. Hey, y'all have been in PE with Dave and Jay and Mo Harper, where we build while we build.
I don't want nothing. I don't want nothing to sign down.